Welcome back to another episode of Field Guide. My name is Jake, and today we're going to be talking about this lovely jacket, the L2B. This one in particular from Real McCoys. This is a light zone or lightweight nylon flight jacket that was issued in the mid-50s. And the reason I'm flanked by these two astonishingly tall mannequins is because they are wearing other nylon flight jackets that were also issued, and I'm going to talk a little bit about all of them. All of us together talking about these nylon jackets.
All your pals.
Yeah, my jacket pals. Well, this tall fella is wearing the L2, which was a predecessor to this one, the L2B. The astute amongst you who are not colorblind, and if you are, my apologies for assuming you can tell the difference. This is an olive drab nylon, and the train would like to comment.
Yeah.
This jacket was introduced into the Army Air Force in 1945. Right at the end of World War II, they changed the contract. Everybody's seen World War II movies. You're often looking at people wearing leather flight jackets, the A2. The A2 was kind of like the famous jacket that came out of World War II that everybody sort of associates as like a bomber. But by the end of the war, they were, not to make it grisly, running out of horses. Horses had been pack animals, work animals, and then after the war, everybody kind of had switched over predominantly to like motorized vehicles. It means there weren't as many horses. They needed to come up with other things to make jackets out of. Initially, that was like cotton, but then they settled on man-made material. So this nylon was designed to be less flammable than, say, other materials. It's olive green because it's the Army Air Force, aka the Army. The Army makes everything olive drab. There aren't very many of these, just because at the end of the war, everybody was leaving the service instead of joining the service. So you start seeing the drawdown. They didn't need to make a lot of these jackets. They're very rare. You see them pop up in like Korean War photos because there are people who had just been trained to fly or were issued them right after the war. And then when they went back into the service for Korea, they maybe would be wearing them again. You still have some leather accents, like there's a leather oxygen tab right here, and like I said, it's olive drab. In 1949, the Army Air Force was spun off of the Army. It was finally, it left home. It became its own service branch. And for lack of a better way of describing it, they needed their own brand identity, and so they...
Hang on, we'll wait till the phone stops.
If you'd like, I can go mute that.
Oh, can we mute? Yeah, let's do that.
So, in 1949, they issue the L2A, which is the only variant of this I don't have. It's Air Force Blue, which is like this really deep, sort of shiny blue. If you want to get a sense of what it looks like, or are having trouble falling asleep, I recommend you watch the movie Strategic Air Command, starring Jimmy Stewart as a very implausible third baseman who then gets called back into active service and is wearing tons of Air Force Blue garments throughout most of the movie, including an L2A. It was kind of funded by the Department of Defense, so it's like super technical.
Propaganda?
Like, no, oh yeah, oh yeah. They made these snazzy jackets. They were super cool, unless in Korea you got shot down and then you realized that your jacket offered absolutely no ability to hide you in the terrain. So they went back to the drawing board and they decided maybe green was a good color, but we can't use olive drab because Army called dibs, I guess. And so they came up with sage green. This is sage green. And in 1955, so too late to have done anybody in the Korean War any good, but by military standards pretty quick, they came up with the L2B. And the L2B exists for like 20, almost 25 years after that moment. It stays in service. It has little changes here and there, but basically it looks like this. So you have like the sage green coloring, which is kind of like a grayish green. It's got the oxygen tab that's now made out of heavier piece of nylon.
When you say oxygen tab, what?
You can clip your oxygen mask to it when you're flying. It's got this knit collar, just like this one does, so it's easy to put a helmet over. One thing I love is like they decided the light jackets needed epaulets, but if you look over here at the MA1, which is like a warmer jacket, it's got a lining in it and stuff, but otherwise it looks very similar. No epaulets. Apparently in colder weather you don't need I don't know. They just decided epaulets had to go. Eventually this jacket loses the epaulets. It loses the pocket flaps in later iterations. And it also gets like this really bright orange lining. So if you get like shot down, you can flip your jacket around so people know you're there. This one, the first iterations have this really cool champagne nylon lining. that you don't see very often in original garments due to like a dyeing error. I'm not entirely sure what the error was, but what you wind up seeing is a jacket that has this color and then also has this color on the inside. Kind of like how this one is like same.
I wonder if it's like a similar thing that happened. Do you know the story about the pink donut box? How that was like an error, but it became very iconic.
I think
they just kept it.
It's probable. Some variation of like a happy accident. Like I said, eventually this jacket and the L2B both get the super bright come find me orange lining. And so what you'll see is, especially in like Cold War era photos, so we're talking like pre-Vietnam really, because in Vietnam it was too hot for anybody to wear flight jackets. I mean, you might see bomber crewmen wearing these. Your fighter pilots weren't necessarily because it's really hot. So you want to think like Cold War in Europe, maybe Cuban Missile Crisis. That era of pilots. Lots of people flying very neat looking jets that like are super dangerous. So you'll see lots of, they're called the Century series of fighters. Like if you are like me and have a cursed memory for this kind of stuff, like all these fighters that were like the F-100 to like the F-106 are called the Century series because they're all 100s. Super Sabre, or the Starfighter, all these planes that were really good at doing like specific things and then very bad at doing everything else. There were no computer flight systems, so it was like really cool to be a fighter pilot. And that's why you have the cachet around the L2B. It's also cool because it's the series of jackets that extends literally effectively unchanged except in color from World War II. Every other jacket, like it is famous, like the MA1 or subsequent jackets are like, either there's a big gap in when they're given or you wind up having different jackets over time. This is the one that's like a constant presence from like World War II through the 70s.
What's up with the CWU?
It was the replacement.
It
was made, a couple things. It was made of Nomex, and there was a light version and a lined version, so it would replace these two jackets. So I mentioned at the top, nylon. This nylon was like fire resistant. It's not, I mean, it is more resistant to burning than like your usual like members only or like coach's jacket. But I think if it burns, it's still gonna melt onto your skin and that's gonna give you a bad day. Nomex is considerably more fire retardant than this.
That's like firefighter stuff, like
yeah. It's like firefighters, Formula One drivers. I think they wear like a bunch of different things, but I think their jumpsuits are Nomex.
But the CWU also has a collar.
Yeah.
And it maintained the pocket flaps. Mm-hmm. Do you know any reason why?
I don't know specifically as to why. This is going to be one of those I'll say it and you'll be like, oh yeah. Having something cover your pockets so things don't fall out is helpful. And while the MA1 has like a snap, even though these are like slash pockets and I can totally do this, the military doesn't want me to do this. Nobody is supposed to stand around with their hands in their pockets. So if you have flaps that are like covering your pockets, now you can't anymore. I look like a Tyrannosaurus trying to. Anyway.
Also, doesn't the CWU have a bi-swing?
Yeah.
Right? And like these don't.
No.
None of these do.
No.
Got it.
You got nothing. No bi-swing.
So they added some stuff that seems functional.
Well,
and then one specific thing, the collar, that seems really weird.
I think the CW series was actually also issued to naval flight officers, whereas these are Air Force.
Gotcha.
And the Navy had, through the series of flight jackets, the G1. Even though it's a leather jacket, it always had a bi-swing so your arms could move very easy. And they always had collars. Because the A1, the first flight jacket, has like a knit collar like this. But like from the A2 onward, for the most part, everything has like a collar. So part of me wonders if it was like, well, we're going to issue it to people that have always had collar, you know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm not saying...
That makes the most sense.
Totally. I'm not saying they really care because I don't think contractors really think about that exactly, but they're like, well, that's a cool feature from this.
Right.
So it's kind of like a marriage.
Well, and also just to differentiate them probably too, which is, I mean, what you're talking about with these two different green colors.
Yeah. Sage green, if memory serves, won out like most of the issued CW jackets. They're real short, which some people love, but it's a bit of a bummer for me.
Yeah.
And these, I think, are longer. Like an original that would fit me would maybe be about 25 inches long, and these I think are like 27.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look ridiculous, but it like looks like a modern human could wear it, and it would give the right appearance with your clothing.
Yeah. I like a shorter bomber, especially the MA1, because they're so puffy. It
Sure.
accentuates that shape.
Yeah,
Whereas the lightweight jackets, they feel more casual.
totally.
Even though they're a similar construction, and I'm sure the pattern is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But the way that they drape makes them feel less military.
I agree. I also think, for better or worse, the epaulets do that too, because people are used to seeing like members only jackets and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have, like, they kept this pocket, which shows up on the L2, well, I'm not going to dive down this rabbit hole, but these are called cigarette pockets, because they hold a pack of unfiltered cigarettes in the zipper.
That came with your rations.
Military rations. And then it's got these pencil holders here with these really nifty like pen caps at the bottom. You can see them. They look like little bullets. They call them bullets.
Oh, they come in the...
Yeah, and they're designed to keep you from poking through the jacket. No, this is like an OG thing, and like you can put your pencils in here, so when you're like updating, because these jackets are from before GPS, so there was a lot of like needing to do. I can think of nothing worse than having to do complex math while trying to like fly. That is like my nightmare. Like asking me to, hey, do this math while you're driving. That gives me anxiety. So
Mine is just,
like,
hey, do this math.
in a nutshell, that's this jacket. It's pretty sick. The L2B is available in store, and the MA1 is available in store. So these ones you can pick up in store.
Ignore that one.
Yeah, you can appreciate this one. We appreciate you, tall headless person, but you cannot purchase this jacket. You can purchase these. Thank you for letting me ramble in another episode of Field Guide. I hope this was educational and interesting. If you have a favorite colorway of the L2, or maybe you're even luckier and have someone in your family who like passed one down to you, drop us a comment, comment, subscribe. And my name is Jake. I'll see you in the next one.
Hell yeah, dog.